Hello, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will understand about the intestinal cellular mechanism of fluid and ion transport, and we will also understand about the diarrhea through mechanism of action of bacterial infection like cholera. The amount of fluid in stool is determined by its content of solute. In diarrhea, solute not absorbed effectively. The large intestine is very important for the absorption of water and ions, as well as microbiome for fermentation of waste foods and gut health. It is also regulate the fluid into the waste as well as into the blood circulatory system and immune system regulation. So in this way, the microbiome when deplete will lead to progress the bacterial infection, viral infection and other causes because the immune system regulation through microbiome is possible. Anyhow, let's understand about first the digestive system and where the diarrhea complication can occur in the gastrointestinal tract. This is the person contained digestive system like stomach, duodenum, small intestine, ileum and jejunum, large intestine, ascending, transverse and descending, sigmoid, rectum and anus. This is the large intestine. This is the whenever you will contaminated food ingest or normally, so the esophagus will absorb. The stomach esophagus will allow to swallow, and in this way the stomach will get the bolus. This is the duodenum and ascending, transverse, descending, and sigmoid colon, rectum and anus, while the jejunum and ileum. And this is the cecum and appendix. Anyhow, let's understand about the absorption first and secretion then. So how the our digestive system absorb water? This is the enterocyte. First, we will understand about the small intestine and colon enterocyte, the epithelial cell. Remember, this epithelial cell will renew within the 3 days. This is the bicarbonate and chloride exchange through PRA channel, the PAT1, and on the other hand, the sodium proton exchange 3 channel exchange the proton with the sodium move inside. In this way, the chloride and sodium when enter, it means the salt composition will lead to absorb water by this mechanism. The calcium and cyclic AMP will inhibit it, while the lysophosphatidic acid and tyrosine kinase will trigger it. This trigger. By this mechanism, the infection or bacterial infection will lead to increase the cyclic AMP, and this cyclic AMP will lead to not absorb the chloride and sodium. In this way, the water will not absorb and the diarrhea can occur. By the same mechanism, the LPA and tyrosine kinase, which that will be inhibited by the infection of the bacteria or virus. This is the potassium chloride channel 1 is involved for the potassium and chloride symbol transportation into the blood circulatory system for absorption of water. ATPase channel exchange the sodium and potassium. Whenever the chloride, potassium, and sodium and when enter into the blood circulatory system, the water will absorb because the water will move from lower concentration of the solute into the higher concentration of the solute. Let's understand about colon only. What will be happen? The ENaC channel, which that is important for the influx of the sodium, and this is the not exchange or not. This the chlorine tight junction is not allowed to sodium move inside. In this way, here you can see the cyclic AMP and MAP kinase and SGK1 will trigger it, while the calcium and MAPK will inhibit. In this way, the triggering more cyclic AMP and MAP kinase will lead to infection through bacteria. There is the sodium potassium exchange channel, which that will lead to move potassium and sodium into the blood circulatory system by this activity, and in this way the water will absorb. Like the small intestine and colon again for secretion, how it can secrete. In this way, the chloride and through CFTR and CACC channel allow to chloride move out by the increasing of the calcium and cyclic AMP and cyclic GMP. While this is the absorb the potassium chloride SIMPO transport and the sodium potassium exchange, which then move the potassium into the enterocyte by this mechanism. Anyhow, the potassium can move out through a potassium export channel, and in this way the calcium will rise. Calcium rise due to the infection will lead to trigger the chloride secretion more. While on the other hand, the cyclic AMP and cyclic GMP will allow to more absorption of chloride, sodium, potassium, and in this way, the more absorption of this content will secrete through CFTR and CACC due to the cyclic AMP and cyclic GMP increase. And in this way, on the other hand, the water will move out through the tight junction through poration because some pores are present, which that allow to semi-permeation. On the other hand, the intracellular potassium will be decreased whenever the diarrhea will occur. But on the other hand, the normally it can be absorbed through potassium channels. So by this single activity, because the calcium when increase cyclic AMP and cyclic GMP, which that will lead to absorb potassium more also. Intestinal barrier function junction tightly between the epithelium is not only dynamic but also may allow for the selective permeation of solute through tight junction pores. So now we will understand about the mechanism of action of cholera toxin. So how it can work. The contamination like bacteria and virus like Salmonella, Vibrio, cholera, E. coli, Listeria and rotavirus are rotavirus and adenovirus, which that will lead to infect this epithelium, the enterocytes. This is the bigger picture of the enterocytes, and this is the mechanism of action of cholera toxin we will discuss only. This cholera, when enter into the lumen due to the contaminated food, this will produce a toxin. This toxin is called cholera toxin. This toxin contain a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subunit. The B and A. A contain 1 and 2. But the B is important for binding with the glycoside receptor. Will lead to entry of the A2 and A1 combined together, but it will dissociate when enter into the enterocyte. When dissociate, this will trigger the adenylate cyclase to increase the cyclic AMP. When increase the cyclic AMP will lead to secretion of sodium, sodium follow the water, chloride, potassium and bicarbonate ion. In this way, it will lead to acidosis due to the secretion of bicarbonate, chloride, and the water loss will lead to anhydrobiosis and cell injury. On the other hand, it causes many problems. This basically the osmosis will lead to water enter into the enterocyte and secretion into the lumen due to the secretion of sodium, chloride, potassium and bicarbonate. Anyhow, the normal cell will convert into the dehydration state, the hypoxia also occurs, ischemia and necrosis. It can cause dehydration, dehydration due to the loss of water from the tissue, even from the blood circulatory system will lead to hypotension also. The isotonic dehydration, and in this will lead to potassium decrease, potassium level will lead to hypovolemic shock. Loss of potassium will lead to hypokalemia in the blood circulatory system and arrhythmias. Because the potassium and sodium is important for the heartbeat as well as nerve impulse. So the muscle weakness or cramp as well as neurodegenerative process can trigger dry mouth and dry skin and no inflammation or mucosal damage. So the inflammation will not occur, but this the problem will occur. Anyhow, I hope you make sense about this intestinal cellular mechanism of fluid and ion transport. I hope you make sense about this. We have also discussed about the mechanism of action of cholera. Next video we will understand about the briefly overview of the diarrhea. So in this video we have discussed this function, absorption and secretion in the intestine. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. For this time, bye.